13 months ago, I decided to run an experiment. And that experiment was, what if I devoted 12 months to creating YouTube videos and see what happens? And at the end of that 12 months, if I'm not monetized, if people aren't resonating with what I'm creating, I'll drop it. And I knew I needed to give myself this much time because I know that anything worthwhile is slow. It takes deep devotion, commitment, and patience to create the life that you crave. Now, bear in mind, this experiment scared the shit out of me because I was afraid of being seen. I feared the responsibility of what if it does get traction? What if I do become successful? And I also just feared being judged and misunderstood. And I especially feared what my friends would think of me if I started this project, you know? And so I started off on pretty shaky ground. But before I dive into that, let me outline what I'm expressing here. In this video, I really want to explore what my journey with YouTube's been like in the last 13 months, how much YouTube has paid me in my first month of being monetized, so spoiler, I am monetized, and just what I've discovered about myself in this journey, and hopefully it can serve as some inspiration for y'all if this is something that is akin to your journey, or let it expand you in whatever area of your life you can give more devotion. So, as I was mentioning, I feared what this experiment would be, but yet I knew it was this deeper calling. It felt like it was one of God's breadcrumbs that I kept ignoring because of my own narratives and limitations about how I think my life should unfold. So some context of where I was at May of 2024. I was running a creative business. I do architectural design, fabrication, furniture, all of those things. And I was at a point where, one, work was slow, but two, the work that I was doing just felt like it wasn't having impact anymore, or it wasn't challenging me. I got to a level of mastery with my hands-on work where the nuance was really the deep inner work. And so my work was kind of feeling dull. I was making these beautiful things for wealthy clientele, and as much as it was paying my bills, it wasn't making me come alive. And it wasn't feeling like it was as on purpose and in alignment as it used to be. Now I still do that, spoiler alert, but I got this download that I'd been avoiding for 2 years, to be honest. I didn't make a video for 2 fucking years, and God kept knocking on my door. The divine's like, hey man, you gotta do this YouTube thing. I'm like, because I had tried in, I think, 2021 with shorts, and it was a mess. I was really disembodied. I love that part of me, but I'm glad that I am this version creating now. But I outlined this experiment. I'm going to create for the next 12 months as much as possible. And by the end of that 12 months, I'll reevaluate. Is this worth my time and energy? I'm just one of those devoted type of people where it's like, I'm gonna give it my all, I'm gonna create a container for it, and let's see what happens. And holy shit, was that a wild ride. That year happened to, right at the beginning of that experiment, happened to track a very transformative time in my life. Now, I'd already been deep in my explorations of the nervous system, of somatic therapy, of men's work, of masculine, feminine, sexual polarity, all these types of things that were a part of my relationship to myself and therefore my creativity. But in June of 2024, I got the beautiful cosmic 4x6 across the face that slapped me on my ass, and I lost everything. Everything that I thought was going to be forever, I lost, and it was painful, but became such a beautiful gift. And this YouTube channel got to be a vessel of tracking my evolution of self, how it impacted my work, and just began to be sort of a ritual for me to transmit what I'm discovering in myself. So it took me, flash forward to 12 months. It was 12 months, or really like 11 and a half months of posting 2 to 3 times a week authentic, original content, editing, doing everything myself, to get to 600 subscribers. And I think at that point I had a video that had gotten 2,000 views, and that was like, whoa, that's fucking crazy, 2,000 people. But I was approaching pretty quick on my 12 months thing, and I wasn't monetized. I didn't feel like there was that much resonance with my work, and nothing was happening until something happened. And right at about 11.5 months, one of my videos finally gained some traction and began to resonate with y'all. And I think that video ended up getting 10 or 11,000 views and got me like past 1,000 subscribers. And that was like a huge mark, like holy smokes, no way, finally. And literally weeks before I was about to quit. So my capacity to stay devoted to the container that I set myself was tested and tested and tested and tested. And literally at the home stretch, something finally happened. And this is a theme that I feel play out in my life all the time. Nothing happens, and then something happens. But the nothing is sacred, and there's a lot going on inside of the nothing. Because while nothing was happening in my YouTube channel, I was doing such deep work to expand my nervous system capacity, to slow the fuck down, to ground my presence, to open my heart, and to live with just this radical conviction of giving everything. So while it wasn't manifesting in my outer world, my inner self-concept, my relationship to myself, and where I rest in my consciousness inside of my being had shifted tremendously. I had lived the first 27.5 years of my life numb from the neck down, and as I de-thawed, I accessed my power. And there was a delay in me being met with the power, the amplification and the reflection of that power in my outer environment. And so it was 11.5 months of finally, when I got this first feedback of this video doing well and getting all of these people resonating with my work, then I'm like, whoa, I'm not wrong, I'm just early and I have to keep giving my gifts. And so I kept going. And then another video, and another video, and another video started to really resonate. I started to get comments that were like, this is the best fucking video I've ever seen on YouTube. Or like, oh my gosh, I thought I was, you know, so alone. I can't believe I'm not insane. Like, this is so on point and perfectly timed. All of these things. And I'm not using those as something to flaunt. I'm not using those as a form of internal validation. Those are merely what I call an of course. Like, of course people resonate with my work because I am deeply connected to myself and I know that other people are experiencing this. And so I started to continue to lean more and more in. Flash forward, I think it was June, the beginning of June-ish, I got monetized. I got the 4,000 hours of watch time. I got the 1,000 subscribers. I forget the other criteria if there is any. And so I had to fill out the thing to get monetized, and that took a while. And yeah, meanwhile, one of my videos was doing great and it was bringing in, and this is the funny part, right? So it took 11.75 months to get monetized. Actually, I think it was like right at 12 months, but 11.75 to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. And then one video in the span of 2 weeks got me 2,000 subscribers and 4.9 thousand hours of watch time. So it's a funny reflection. It took a year to build that much and then 2 weeks to do the same and double it, you know. That's how life works, right? When you stay devoted, connected, and in your deep trust. And so, how much did YouTube pay me in my first month of being monetized? YouTube paid me, let me pull it up, $139.40. Now that might not seem like a lot of money, also because transparently I run an online business where I sell digital products, workshops, real, not information-based products, but transformation-based products. So I make the bulk of my online income from my own personal business. But nonetheless, just seeing this number is like, holy smokes. Like, I mean, I've devoted so much time to this project, so it's about fucking time. But nonetheless, it's like, that's not an unsubstantial amount of money. And it's less about the money, it's more like a reflection of the value that I'm giving out to the world. Enough people are resonating with my content where YouTube's like, hey, we're gonna give you money now because people are appreciating what you are giving. And I think it's beautiful because I'm such a stand for deep presence. My work, if you haven't watched my other videos, is all about connecting to your deep presence and giving your gifts from depth, not pressure. And it's beautiful that I'm literally getting paid by YouTube by y'all receiving my presence and you being present with my work, vice versa, right? To me, that's pretty remarkable. And so while $139.40 might not seem like a lot of money, to me it represents the beautiful kind of unfolding and surprise of this path that I'm on. Because I've learned so much about what it's like to stay devoted, to allow myself to evolve, and to be seen and to hold responsibility. Because now as my audience is growing and there's many more people in my online ecosystem, which is primarily a newsletter and workshops and trainings, which I invite you to join the newsletter. It's free. If you're not there, what the heck are you doing? There's deeper responsibility. And as much as it's what I feared, it's what I craved. And so this has been some wild experiment for me that has really tested my capacity to stay connected to myself. And to also stay connected to the trust that there's a more beautiful world I know is possible, and this is a vessel to create the impact that will help create more of that world. So if you're someone who's been teetering on the fence of doing YouTube or whatever that medium of devotion is, somewhere out in the world, whether that's starting a business, whether that's creating a practice where you make an artifact every day, or you share something online, you're writing, you start a Substack, I don't know what it is that people do. I hope that this serves as a form of a soul nudge and encouragement to you so that you can see the power of devotion, right? And that it's not overnight success, right? It only took 11 months and 192 videos to make $139 from YouTube, right? So it's not about the money. It's about the deep devotional impact. And the money will be a byproduct of the value you are creating for the world. And especially if you are selling something that is art, like, your artwork, your services, or online sort of products, that is much, much more lucrative than any YouTube AdSense thing. But nonetheless, when you create from a place of depth with devotion, it's not a matter of if, it's when you receive the audience, the money, the impact. So that's what I have to share. I'm excited to keep creating, to keep exploring what this experiment can mean for me now, to dream bigger for the next year. I got some cool things in the works for you that may or may not be a community. But in the meantime, you can get updated and stay connected with all the latest and greatest via my newsletter. And if you want a series of experiments to help you get connected to your values, what you want to create, the Embodied Creator Toolkit is for you. So check that out, links in the description, and be sure to subscribe if you appreciated this. So yeah, looking forward to seeing the next one. Ciao!